y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925, but we are still married to the games. Episode 283, the Valentine's Day Get in Trouble with Your Wife edition.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, no. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's your boy Gabe Patillo.
And more importantly, thank them for letting us be here.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Exactly.
We thank the three wives that matter tonight. Give a shout out to Sarah, to Stacy, and to Lauren for letting these fellas podcast on Valentine's Day night. Mm-hmm. And husbands everywhere groaned.
Yeah. They clenched.
Yes. I think clenching is more important.
Yes, please don't run into a tree as you're shaking your head ferociously right now.
That's right.
Looking down at the ground.
That's right.
We did
It's your boy Gabe Patillo, Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games and divorce papers.
Hopefully not. Don't wish that upon us.
Right?
I'm the only lucky one this week because
You're
I'm
off
on
the
the
hook.
road. I'm off the hook. And so I'm in Bend, Oregon.
Ooh.
And so that's why.
Did you go hang out with Sony Bend? Did you knock on the door and be like, hey, show me some of those days gone?
Oh, no. They're
that's
here?
true.
That's why their name is Bend, because they're from Bend, Oregon.
Well, this place is beautiful, and I purposed myself to not do anything today.
Gotcha.
And it's worked out swimmingly.
Nice.
Love that.
Yes. Ed,
Yeah.
you said you don't remember what happened this last week. Let's see if you can muster up something.
Well, there was a Wednesday and Thursday turned into Friday, and then
These are the days of the week.
I'd be willing to bet you made some coffee somewhere in there.
oh, there was coffee. There was coffee on a daily basis.
That even goes without saying.
Yeah. But yeah, just a basic week, really. Sarah and I just working away, hanging out, playing some games, playing some Kingdom Hearts. Pick that up.
I can't believe it.
Wow, you playing Kingdom Hearts.
Well, and I
What
remember
happened?
playing that way back in the day. And I thought it felt like I played a ton of it. I never got off the beach.
Well, that's not a ton of it then.
Yeah. I think it just took me forever to like find all the coconuts or that kind of thing, where now it's like, let me just go to the IGN walkthrough and see okay, they're right here. Okay, great.
There you go. You pulled a Chris McCracken, man.
Exactly. Yeah. So I actually
Nobody got
picked
time
up
for that. Just YouTube it.
I know. That's totally what I do. And the people on the Discord were talking about the new Kingdom Hearts coming out. I watched the trailer for it, and I'm a huge Disney fan and always liked the fact that they interwove Disney characters and lands into the games. And I said, man, that new game is coming out. I love Toy Story. I love Monsters, Inc. I wonder how much the bundle is. And so I ended up getting the little bundle that had all the there's like 5 Kingdom Hearts games or something on there. And so just gonna see what happens.
So here's the thing about the bundle, which is weird, is like all the in-betweens are little, I think like one's even just a cinematic something. I don't even know if it's an actual
Oh, really? Nice.
game, but I think really, and of course people are going to disagree with me, but I think the important, obviously, things to hit are 1 and 2.
Right.
I think the other ones are like kind of take it or leave it.
Yeah.
That's to my understanding.
And I feel like I could be wrong, but I had looked up online what order do I play them in, and I feel like on the main menu they've got them in that order. So
That's right.
So it should be somewhat smooth. Yeah, it's been a fun game. I just Sarah was just cracking up at, and I forgot Haley Joel Osment was in that. That was so funny.
Yeah, he's the main guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
what happened to him?
I know, right? Oh, he's doing some hilarious work now.
Is he?
Yes. Yeah, he kind of fell in with Will Ferrell's TV crew for a bit and was on a couple of his TV shows on IFC. And that dude's funny now.
Really?
I hear that.
Yeah.
Is he like with the Funny or Die cast too? Does he work? on any of that
I think
stuff?
he's popped up on there a couple times, but
That's a trip.
He looks a bit different than he used to, but he's
Yes, he does.
he's still doing a good job. So
As you would, as you grow.
as you would, grow and grow. Besides that, I was super happy to see that this week Mafia 2 was released on Xbox as backwards compatible. And I was like, man, that's only $7. I might want to go grab that. And then I got an email from Xbox saying, hey, one of the games that you own is backwards compatible. And it must have been a free game at some point when I was still on the 360. So I just downloaded it, and I haven't started it up yet, but I'm eager to see.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
Yeah.
And then as far as Valentine's go, Sarah and I are pretty... when it comes really, it's kind of the same thing with Christmas or even birthdays, really. It's like, let's just not do anything. Let's just hang out and business as usual. And so we hung out, and Sarah's downstairs watching The Vampire Diaries, and it's just another day in the Placencia household, crying. Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, it's been a nice week. I guess if I can't remember what happened, it wasn't too bad.
That's
there you
right.
go. Yeah.
So I'll take that.
That's a good way to look at it.
Chris McCracken.
Oh, guys. Well, last week, as you remember, we were going to start a little earlier because I was busy doing a video shoot on location. That wrapped up and went fine. We didn't have any major issues, which is always great to say on a shoot because we've had sometimes some big issues that come up that end up having to make
us starting the show last week.
That was fine. That was no big deal.
What's
started
been
the day off with an issue?
Has there ever been an issue where you have to like completely move to another location? Like,
not another location, but we've had to completely scrap a day and add on days.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
had, which, that's been very, very seldom. I think that's only ever happened maybe twice. So, I mean, that's very rare for something crazy like that to happen. But yeah, that's definitely not something you want because typically the shoots are all scheduled around a certain budget. And so that puts you over budget, and that's never a thing that you want to do. So, luckily it all went according to plan. As it typically goes whenever we get done shooting, then it's just a feverish week or two of editing. So been deep in the thralls of editing and everything. I actually had to stay late last Friday. I came in early and then stayed late last Friday to try to get something wrapped up because I was going to be out of the office on Monday because Stacy and I went up to Oklahoma this weekend and stayed through Monday. Or actually, that was originally the plan. We always wanted to leave a little bit of time because it was my mother-in-law's birthday, so we celebrated my mother-in-law's birthday. And then also, Stacy's friend Janice is really heavily involved at their church up there, and they were having this conference. I don't know that I ever caught the actual name of what it was like. I'm assuming it had some kind of name, but I never really caught what it was. They weren't handing out like little pamphlets or anything about it, but it was this gentleman who he's a pastor actually out there in Nashville, and for the life of me I can't think of what his name is. It's like Patrick Mead. Patrick Mead or something like that. Anyways, he is the head minister at some Church of Christ out there on like 4th Avenue or something in Franklin. And he's really weird. He was actually a really cool speaker because not only was the subject matter that he was talking about was interesting to listen to, but he's originally from Scotland, and so he's got this Scottish accent. And so I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I can just listen to this for a couple hours.
Yeah, right? You could. Definitely.
Yeah, and so we went to...
You're like, say, get in my belly. Just one time. Say,
just one time.
You're just lucky we man. Say that to me as I run away from you. Even though you're a skinny guy and you're short, you're about the same height as I am. He's a little guy, so it wouldn't have quite worked.
He's a scrapper.
But yeah, we had, I think it was over Saturday and Sunday, and then we did the mother-in-law's birthday Saturday night. Nice. So it was a good time all around. Got to spend time with the nieces as well, so that was a lot of fun. Came home a little bit early. We originally were going to come home on Monday. We ended up coming home Sunday night so that we could take care of a few things on Monday. I ended up running around doing all kinds of errands. Like I had to take Stacy's car to the shop to get something looked at. We had to go to the grocery store and just... I thought it was going to be a day off where we would just be lazy and do nothing, but days off like that, unexpected, kind of tend to be days where you just handle all the miscellaneous stuff because it's like, it's a perfect time to get rid of the miscellaneous because I normally am not off on a Monday, So we took care of that stuff. On the gaming front, just been playing some Overwatch during the Lunar event, obviously, as you might expect. And then I finished Hellblade.
Oh, nice.
So, man, I'm of two minds with this game. It's crazy because aspects of it that I really, really liked. I thought were super cool. I like the story elements that you get out of it, the Norse mythology stuff that's sprinkled throughout, and dealing with all the different mythology there. That was kind of cool to hear those little bits and pieces. There's this guy that you meet early on, and he ends up becoming, I'm going to call him a ghost. I don't know if that's really what he was or how you would phrase what he was. But then throughout the rest of the game, you see him in the beginning, and then throughout the rest of the game, he just talks to you at different points throughout the game. And tells you a lot of different Norse mythology and Celtic mythology, like stories and stuff that kind of go throughout. So that was neat. For the most part, like the character models and the animations and all that were really good. There were parts of it that looked a little but most of the game overall looked really good, and it was pretty to look at. I kind of dug there's not a lot of combat in the game, but the combat that is there was rewarding. Like when you would, and it gets more challenging as you go, as you might expect. As you get further along and you get to more difficult enemies that you have to face. The challenge goes a little bit more, and then you get to where like a couple guys are trying to attack you at the same time, and you've got to be attacking one, and then you've got to listen for a certain sound, and that tells you the other guy's about to try to attack you, and then you hit the dot or the deflect button, and then you'll like deflect his blade, and so it was really rewarding. It does say, I think we talked about how it gives you that prompt somewhat early on where it says, if each time that you die, she has this rot that grows on her arm, and eventually it'll get to your head, and if it makes it all the way to your head, then your progress is lost. I never got that way. It's very, very generous in that. Like most of the times I died was from combat. There's only a few times where I died because of a puzzle that went awry, and I didn't get to a point in time, and then I just ended up dying because I caught on fire or whatever it was.
How far up did the rot grow on you?
It got to almost like right around to the top of my shoulder,
okay,
my shoulder, not rounding up towards my neck, but just on the top of my arm, like where my arm meets my shoulder. But I feel like there was 3 or 4 times where I would die in combat, especially when you get towards the end, when you get to where multiple enemies are trying to attack you at once. There were a few times I died in a row, and I feel like, so when you die, when you respawn, the animation shows the rot going up higher, and then you get to start going and try to pick up from where you left off. And I feel like 3 or 4 times it just went to the same spot every time. Like it never went any higher.
Yeah. And it's irreversible, right? Like there's no spells or anything that can reverse the rot.
That's what they say. And there's been some talk online about how like it's not actually the case. It doesn't really give you like a permadeath where it wipes all your data, but I don't know. And I would be kind of expect that the fact that it took me so long, it's like if you're really struggling with it, I bet you get a lot of chances. It's kind of,
right.
I'm not going to say that it's a hoax, but at the same time, just the thought of, oh, my progress could be wiped kind of gives you a little bit of attention. I'm sure that's part of what they were going for. Yeah. And that aspect of it definitely worked. I did really like the way, so part of the thing with Senua, that's the name of the main character, is that she's suffering from mental illness and psychosis, and so she has all these voices in her head, and constantly when you play this game, I highly recommend if you play with headphones, you can hear all these different voices like around your head saying different things, and sometimes they tell you things, they actually help you a little bit, and other times they make you second guess what you're doing if it's the right thing to do and all this. So that aspect was all really cool. What I didn't like at all was the puzzle aspect stuff of things. Yeah. And I know that I've said on the show many times that I'm not a huge puzzle guy, but the thing is that the puzzles are like you'll go to a door and there'll be these symbols on the door, and then you've got to match up these symbols with things you see out in the world so you can unlock the door. I'll call them runes. But the thing is that some of them are super obvious, and some of them are like, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me that is where they wanted me to look for this thing. There's no way without going to YouTube I would have ever stumbled across that.
Wow. Really?
And so,
question, Chris, is this the game where the girl wasn't an actress actually?
Yes. Yeah.
And she was on the team and won the award? That's awesome.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Oh, right.
How did she do?
She did a great job. Like her character and her, granted, the mocap and everything, all the animations, everything looked really good. They didn't need to fix her face like they did in the Horizon. Yeah, they didn't have to fix her mouth because it all worked very, very good. There's a lot of close-ups that they do, and it all looked really great. I mean, I didn't have any problems with that, but the puzzle aspect, they get harder, as you might expect, and that's fine. But some of them get so ridiculously obtuse, and it's just like, are you kidding me? And it got to the point where I was just like, am I done with this game? I mean, how much more do I really have to do of this? Yeah. All that being said, I was tooling around looking at my trophies today for some reason. I don't know. I got bored and I was like, oh yeah, I need to sync my trophies because all those ones I got for Hellblade. And then I happened to look, and I'm only missing one from the platinum. So
dude, go for it.
it's possible I may play it again. Just
Man.
Is it something that's like crazy to get? Do you know?
No, it's not. So the thing is that about as you're going, I mentioned that you see this ghost guy and he starts telling you these stories. As you move past the point where you don't see him in kind of in the flesh anymore, and you just hear his voice, you find these posts that have a symbol on them throughout the world. And when you go up to it, you do the R2, and it's like the focus button, and it focuses in on it, and then it like lights up, if you will, and then the guy starts to speak and tell you another story, and they're like scattered throughout the world. Well, it was about halfway through it, I found one. I just happened to stumble across it because I went off into this area of the map to kind of explore that for no other reason would I have even gone there. And I found one of them, and I lit it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I bet there's a trophy tied to finding all these in the world. Because in the beginning, they just kind of happen to be where you normally would go anyways.
Right.
And so one of the last little parts of the game, you go through this door, but before you go through this door, it lights up with all these symbols that you had been seeing on those posts all the way around. It's like a circular door, and you see all these symbols light up. And most of the ones that I had lit up in white, but some of them lit up in red. And I was like, I bet you anything those are the ones I didn't get.
Oh, right.
And like an idiot, I didn't think to screenshot them so I could go back and look them up and see where they are really quick.
No.
So if I do it again, I feel like I'm going to have to legit just straight play the whole game again. So I'm not going to do it right now, but I feel like at some point, I mean, it's one trophy and it's not going to be hard to get. So I kind of think I'm going to go back and play it eventually to get the platinum.
How long did it take you to play the game?
Well, that's the other thing. I couldn't find anywhere a counter, and I played it over, multiple days because, like, I played a day and then a couple hours one day and then a couple hours another day, and then we were gone for the weekend, and then I came back and I was like, I'm determined to finish this game today. So on Monday, I played the most. I feel like I played about 4 hours.
Okay.
But I think total it's like 8 or 9 if you're not being completionist about it.
Yeah.
That's not terrible at all.
No, that's not terrible at all. But that also underscores how obtuse it got at some points because I was just like, ready for it to be done. I was like, the combat is super fun and rewarding. I really enjoy the combat part. But the puzzle part, just the matching up the symbols in particular, which is most of the puzzle stuff you have to do, is a pain. It really is kind of a bummer, honestly, because if it weren't for that, I'd probably be speaking way more highly of this game.
So do you recommend it?
I think it's worth picking up, especially because it's so cheap. Like even full price, It was $35, and I feel like from now going forward, you're probably always going to be able to find it for cheaper than that. I feel like it's absolutely worth $20-$25 easily,
nice.
even with the obtuseness. I just say, hey, go to YouTube, just find out how do you do it, because some of them the early ones you can figure out easy, no problem. But then as it gets on, like there's these portals that open up, and you have to go through a portal, and it makes the world look different, or certain parts of the world look different, and you have to go through 3 different ones in a certain order, and oh my gosh, it just gets ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we'll just watch out for that. Be prepared.
Nice.
Yep, that's it for me.
Tim
That's awesome. So Piper's topic of the week is her birthday
is
party.
a doghouse.
Is in the dog. No. Her Piper's birthday party last week on Thursday. Piper turned 6, so we had like a little family party for her just at the house with both grandparents and just close friends. And then Saturday was her birthday party with all of her friends from school and just all of her friends in general. And it was at this little art studio, which is typically more of like an adult art studio where you bring wine and then they teach you like how to paint. And Lauren did this once with one of her friends, and she painted a really great picture. And so she had talked to the girls that own it, and they said, we've never really done a kids party before. And we were like, you sure you want to do this? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. So it was really sweet. They there were about 15 girls that were there, and each one had their own station. They had a canvas there, and the studio owners, they went ahead and it was a rainbow theme, so they did like a rainbow picture, and they had already penciled everything in on the canvas, and they had all their paints together, and the girls did really good. They were really attentive, and
nice.
And so Lauren did some amazing decorations that were all rainbow themed. We had a really nice cake, and our friends made these amazing cookies. And so any parent that stays, I basically was just pouring rosé the whole time for everyone, for all the adults. So everybody,
What the kids think of the wine?
Yeah, it was exactly. After probably about an hour it was like a 2-hour long party. After about an hour and a half, like they were just on a sugar high from cake and cookies and stuff. So they started to get pretty nuts. But it was a lot of fun. Piper had a great time, and I think all of her friends had a good time too. So it was really sweet, and it was just nice to see a smile on her face. And it was, Lauren just hustled. She was Friday night. She only got like 2 hours of sleep on Friday night because she was doing all kinds of prep work for it. And then, so Saturday, I was the one just early morning running around getting all the last minute stuff that she needed. I'm kind of the go-to. Hey, I need you to go to Kroger or Hobby Lobby and go pick this up. I'm like, got it, because that just gets me out of the house and out of her way. So it's perfect. I'd rather let her do her thing, and then I'll just run and do all the grunt work. So it worked out really well.
Nice.
And then, man, it's hard to believe, but we're going to start soccer like next week practically. We pretty much have the same team as the fall, which is awesome, and Piper is super excited for that. Same coach, same team. I'm assistant coaching again. And like the first game is like March 3rd already. So it's it feels really early this year.
This is year number 3, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So she's really looking forward to it and really excited. So it'll be good. But man, work's been kicking my butt. A lot of really early mornings, just some minor time to play, and then a lot of work, and then with the party on top of it, it's just a lot going on. But on the gaming front, man, it's so funny. I'm having like Witcher 3 flashbacks when I'm playing Assassin's Creed Origins, because there are so many just really awesome similarities to it, and I'm just loving every minute of it. And yes, I am going for the platinum. I'm trying to knock
There
out.
you go.
What I'm trying to do is I haven't really opened up the main story. I've been too busy doing side missions and unlocking places.
Yeah.
So a lot of the hidden trophies I have a feeling are going to open up as the story mission goes. So I'm kind of working on more of the quote grind out trophies and just trying to find the things that I need to find and just kind of run it from there. But it's like the more I look at this list, the more I'm like, this is very attainable. So I'm gonna go for it. And since I'm having so much fun with this game, why not? So I killed some more elephants this morning, which is really awesome. I feel very accomplished because that's a trophy where you have to kill 2. Like you're basically in this arena and there's 2 that you have to kill. And I'm like max leveled out. I've got great gear, so it was pretty easy for me to do that. But I'm trying to get like at least 1 or 2 trophies per playing session just to keep chopping away at it. And then I'll go back to the main story. I'm pretty much ready to go back to the main story now and just start plowing through that. But man, the game is it's awesome. I'm so happy that this franchise did what they did, and they took a year off to just restart. And this is a perfect restart, and I hope that they keep doing something like this. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited for it. It's great.
There you go.
And yeah, that's it for me. Woo. Mr. Patillo, where are you?
Yeah, in Oregon, and it's freaking cold.
Really?
But it is beautiful. We drove in this morning with the snow falling and
awesome.
driving through the countryside and everything like that. But I did want to tell you guys, there was this one time I was at church and I don't remember if we were there for like a baby dedication or it was a baptism week or something like that. But one of the pastors walks up to me and he goes, "John?" And I was like,
Ooh.
"Oh, no, Gabe." He goes, "You're not John Katina?" And I was like, "No."
No. What?
I'm not John Katina.
The Katina.
And here's the kicker. John Katina is Samoan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the pastor was black.
What?
And I said, "Man, there's only 2 of us in this church pretty much, man. We got to know each other."
Oh my God.
I know you need to know me. So I was mistaken for Samoan. Happy Black History
There
Month.
it is.
We not all look the same, and we definitely don't look Samoan.
No, you don't.
You know what? The very first time I met John Katina, he goes, "You're a brother?" And I said, "What?"
Oh,
and he said,
Lord.
You're
boy.
Samoan?" And I go, no. And he said, you look Samoan. And I said, you look Mexican. So
It's very true. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Oh, that is hilarious.
I can't believe
I was
really John Katina
I was very
for
disappointed. Trust me.
you. What?
There's been plenty of black people I've been mistaken for. I have rarely been mistaken for a completely different race.
Right.
And
Of people.
never did you have hair similar to John Katina's.
Not even close.
Hey,
I went from dreadlocks to bald.
exactly. Somebody hit the community up with who John Katina is, please.
Wow.
Sorry, it was in a group called the Katinas. They're singing.
They were on Goatee, right?
They were on Goatee,
That's right.
and I definitely don't look
And
like
you don't look
John,
a
which is one of the twins.
Thing like them. Oh, that's hilarious. Happy Black History Month, everybody.
Yeah, happy Black History Month. I looked at him like, dude, come on now.
Yeah, right?
What the heck?
White people I've gotten it from.
That's-
Black people
no.
I have not gotten
That is funny.
Wow.
Sorry, I got this
Wow,
cataracts. I can't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me just rub my eyes a little bit. Oh, wow.
Jeez Louise.
Okay. So there you have it.
Other than that, so we just been traveling around.
How's the
and,
tour?
The tour's been going awesome.
Good.
People are showing up to the show in large numbers, so that's always encouraging. And we were in Ontario not too long ago. I got to meet up with EJ. You guys met EJ. He works at Activision. He came to the hotel.
oh, yeah,
when we
nice.
were
Right,
hanging
right,
out
right,
that
right.
night.
Yeah.
Filipino cat.
Right.
Yes.
And so
Not
it was
Samoan.
good to not Samoan, not black. Filipino.
That's right.
And it's funny because he looks exactly like my stepbrother.
Oh, really?
Who's because my stepmom's Filipino, and so obviously her son is Filipino, and they just happen to really resemble each other. Like I actually brought up a picture of Dewey because I didn't want to be one of those people who's like, you look just like him, just because he's Filipino.
Right, right.
I've got enough Filipino people in my life to know they,
Yeah, right.
they don't all look the same.
You've learned your lesson from fellow Filipinos.
Exactly, but I didn't want to say anything
Right.
because it's happened to me.
Right.
And so so we've been traveling around, got to hang out with him and his family over lunch, and that was really great. They drove out of the way to come see a brother, so that was awesome.
Nice.
And I definitely appreciate it. Other than that, man, yeah, show, then a day off, then a show, and then today's a day off, and then we go back into a 4-day run of shows. And I think this is the last Wednesday I have to be remote.
Oh,
wow.
That's
Oh,
nice.
okay.
Very nice.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, so every week now we'll be going back home. So yeah, we'll still be doing 4-show runs over the weekends, but then I'll be home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I can kiss on the babies.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely missing the family. And so it's been a good trip though, man. We did Sacramento was I think our biggest show yet. I think there was a little bit over 12,000 people
Oh,
there, and it just
wow.
felt massive.
awesome.
And like I mentioned for weeks in a row now, I'm super proud of this show, and it looks amazing, and everybody's just doing so much work to get it put together. Our crew, man, our LED guys especially are working their tails off all day, and so it's just amazing when you kind of walk in and see it all up and going. You're like, these jokers did it again.
That's
You know what
awesome.
I'm saying? There's been some days where like we didn't get to load until 1:00 in the afternoon because we had such a long drive, and them jokers get that thing up, man, and it's crazy, man. So hats off to those guys.
That's awesome.
for
Wow.
sure.
This might be an obvious question, but when you know that you're going to have a big crowd, is the energy with the band and with you and just is it different, or you don't really feel it until you're out there and you see it?
You know,
I've always wondered
blissfully
that.
ignorant. I'm blissfully ignorant of the numbers.
Yeah.
So I don't know it till we go out there.
Nice.
And,
Which is probably
and you
good.
kinda- right. Yeah, it's probably true. But it does get you nervous when you're standing on the side of the stage about to start and you look around and you're like, holy crap, this place is full. Because since we play all arenas, sometimes the 300 block is all curtained off.
Right.
And they'll only, fill up,
Sure.
the floor, the 100, and sometimes the 200s, but the top is usually closed off. And in Sacramento, the whole thing was open, and people were, all the way up to the ceiling.
That's
so,
amazing.
Nice.
you kind of get in there, and you're like, holy crap! Okay, all right,
let's do-
okay.
Yeah. So how is that? Is the process like, okay, first song you're like, okay, and then like by mid you're just raging and you're going?
You know what's funny? The way my nerves work is once I step on stage, the nerves go away.
Nice. Yeah,
And so
that
it's
makes
waiting
sense.
on the side and
Yeah.
I'm looking around. That's when I'm really nervous. Like, and my stomach's going crazy. And,
That's so
I can
cool.
feel it in my knees. And I'm like, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. And then the music starts and I get on stage and it's almost like a
goes away.
switch gets flipped.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's performance time.
That's
So,
cool, man.
yeah, man. So it's been really fun. And the camaraderie backstage has been amazing. And so that's been cool. The hang has been great. And speaking of the hang, that definitely goes into my gaming for this week. We've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, which has been a lot
nice.
of fun. There was
Nice.
one day where we've had good enough internet to play Call of Duty online. And so we'll do couch co-op because you can play 2 players online on Call of Duty. And so so we've hooked that up and that's been really fun. And then yesterday, I set up my camera, I set up my recorder, and me and 4 or 5 other guys sat on the bus and started Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
And we were a jumping.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh, we are so scared. Like, none of us like scary games. There's one guy in there that's like, they don't bother him that much. That's what he says.
It's amazing.
But when you go back and look at the video, he's got his hat covering most of his face and his shirt covering the bottom of his face.
Were y'all playing at night or was it daytime?
It was daytime with the Bible open and the Holy Spirit.
Oh, that is
roaming around.
hilarious. With the Bible open. It was in the
Yeah,
middle
he
of their
says when
Bible
2
study.
or 3 are gathered, then he's in the midst. So that's what we were counting on.
Oh. Just,
So that was really fun. So we've just met. Where we stopped for our first session was we just kind of like woke up and we're at the table with the family.
Okay, right,
And so, still pretty close to the beginning. None of us know at all how long the game. Ed, how did you ever? You didn't beat it, right?
No. I got after you meet the family is when hide and seek begins, and
Yep.
that's when I bailed out.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
And so I'm trying to figure out how to present it on YouTube because it's a little hard because the bus is so loud and the rumbling and stuff like that. So it's not like the cleanest experience as far as a Let's Play. So I'm probably going to do like the screen is going to be us and the game's going to be in the corner instead of the other way around just because the commentary and everything is so funny.
Yeah.
And we're very scared.
that's so great. I cannot wait.
There's a lot of us, so when you squish it way down
Right.
and put it in the corner like you usually would, it's hard to see 5 people
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
they're reacting. So we'll see. If it doesn't come across well, I might just try to make like a compilation of us being scared instead of maybe doing the whole game because we were definitely
That
scared.
would be
I can't
fine
wait
with
to
me.
see it.
That would be fine
You know,
with
though,
me.
that works out really well a lot of times when people on like YouTube or wherever, when they do like, we're going to react to this trailer or whatever. And then you
Right,
just put the
right.
trailer down in the corner. And then the main video
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
group
yeah.
of people reacting to it,
That's
which
right.
essentially, if you think about it, is kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's just,
Yeah, and that's
it's
what you
mainly
want
about
out
the
of that game
reaction.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's a new game. Most people who are wanting into that
Exactly.
game, they've played it. So they're just looking for your reaction.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
That's
So
awesome.
it's just fun to like, I mean, I haven't couch co-opted in years. You know what I'm saying? On a regular basis. So it's just really fun to have like all these gamers on the road and them like be itching to play. You know, they're texting me during the day like, hey, when we doing that Resident Evil? Or, hey, are you
that's
playing
so
Call
great.
of Duty? You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I feel like I'm back in my 20s, like early 20s, you know, before being married and before kids, where I could just call up a buddy and we could get our game on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That just hasn't happened in so long. So especially when you're in the same room,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So playing Call of Duty online with somebody sitting there has just been so much fun. So the other night there was 4 of us, and one of the guys is a true Christian. I found out because he plays inverted, and so
Yes.
He's one of the OGs.
Ooh, I don't know, man.
Exactly.
Good man.
That is
and
a true Christian. I love that.
And so what was cool was that since we were playing 2 players and there was 4 of us, the other 2 guys could switch out without having to change the controls, and then me and him could switch out without playing.
Oh, nice.
With the controls.
Oh, that's
So,
smart. There you go.
yeah, it made it great. Because I handed him the controller. It's like, oh man, you're gonna have to switch around. I play inverted. He goes, oh, I play inverted too. Sorry, he's Australian.
No, nice.
Oh, I could tell exactly from your accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was amalgamation. And so he got really. We literally stood up and hugged each other when we found out we were both converted. I was like,
so
see?
funny.
You're
is how
weird
this
too.
works.
Hug it out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I can't wait to see you in heaven. Stuff like that.
You know, that's funny because I forgot to mention it, but when I started Hellblade, because it's so slow paced, and even there is a jog that you can do in it, but even that's relatively slow. It's really not a fast paced game. I was like, you know what? I don't know. I had a moment of sin come over me. I was like, I'm going to try to not play inverted. I'm just going to play the air quotes normal, whatever that is these days.
Don't listen to Eve, man. Don't listen to Eve.
Nope.
Well, I listened to Eve and I played for about 25, 30 minutes. I was like, I can't. I'm sorry. And I went right back. I was like, this is going to be the... Honestly, like I went until I had the first combat part and I was like, oh no, it's not going to work. I mean, even though this combat's not the fastest pace, there's no way. I mean, if it's just looking around, I can wrap my head around it and just move slowly. But I was like, nah, I can't.
Yeah.
I tried.
And so it's been a good week, man. I got to go to San Francisco the other day, and because we had a day off in Napa, and so I rented a car and drove down to San Francisco. And I got to see an old friend of mine that I hadn't seen in maybe 13 years, and he's a guy that we used to game all the time together, and he moved to San Francisco like 11 years ago. He's worked in
that's cool.
All kind of web stuff, and he actually worked at IGN for a couple of years.
Oh, wow, nice.
And then I headed across the Golden Gate Bridge and saw my grandfather and got to hang out with him for a little bit.
Awesome.
And, take a peek at Sausalito.
There you
go. It was just really it's been a good trip, but I'm definitely
That's awesome.
After this week, I'm excited to get home, but first, I think I'm actually seeing a bunch of people this weekend. I was seeing Craig, I think I don't remember exactly where
he lives.
and then
Where he
lives
right
at.
where he lives.
I'm seeing Stancil in Seattle.
An ambassador,
of course.
man.
Nice.
I know. And then Zach Ald from
awesome.
he's been on all over everything. I'll see him in Portland, hopefully, to work that out. So, I'll get to see family to wrap this last little bit of the leg up. But
That's really cool.
so it'll be a good time. So we're having a great time out here on the road, and but I'm ready to kiss them babies, man. It's weird.
Yeah.
We FaceTimed yesterday, me and Jenny. Well, we did it over Hangout because I'm Android, but and that does not help.
No, I'm
It
sure.
makes you just miss them more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because Milo's still a baby, so he's like, you want to pick him up and kiss his chubby cheeks and things like that, and then but I don't miss changing diapers or anything.
No.
But all the rest of it, I do miss.
Right.
I even miss like a little bit of. I was telling Jenny, I don't know why I said this to her, but I told her, I was like, I miss a little bit of the chaos. You know what I'm saying? Of all that.
She's like,
it's
really? You
chaotic
can
out
have
here,
it
but
when
it's
you
so
come
different.
home.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
She's just gonna hand you 3 kids. I'm out. See ya.
Exactly. Peace. I'm gonna get my hair did.
That's right.
So what's hard though is that this next week I'm home really short.
Oh.
Like our flight from I think we're flying from I don't even remember where. But our flight takes all day to get home. And so we won't get home till like 6 something. And then I'll have Tuesday home, and then Wednesday I leave again.
Oh, wow.
And then when I leave, Jenny's going on a trip the next week, so I won't see her again for 2 weeks, and so that kind of sucks. So I don't know how to like really soak it in when I see her, but we just try to take it slow.
Yep.
I'm
There you
all
go,
be
man.
at school and try to go get some lunch and stuff. Anyway, I'm jabbering on and on.
It's all good.
So that's pretty much it for me, I believe. Bend is beautiful.
Nice.
Gracious. So is San Diego. We've been in San Diego. We've been all over the place.
Now this is it. Like west. Once you come back, you're not going back out west, right?
Right. We kind of start northwest-ish and start making our way back over to Illinois and then back
nice.
down. I think we do a show in like Birmingham. And then randomly, I think we end in Florida somewhere.
Nice.
At the very end of the tour. But, we're bing-bonging all over the place. We come back to Texas.
Yep.
I think. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah.
Because I'll hopefully get to see Chris in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So
Sweet.
it'll be
March.
a good time.
Awesome.
Hey. Oh, it's not till March?
Yeah, we're so you're going to 2 dates, and it's around Stacy's birthday weekend. So we just took a bunch of time off, and we're gonna follow the band.
Exactly.
Gonna be groupies.
I'll make sure to put make sure to put a bow on myself.
There you go.
Happy birthday. She'd be like, I cannot believe you got me Kirk Franklin for.
Can't believe you got me John Katina.
John Katina.
Exactly.
I always wanted a chubby ninja.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's right.
Oh, can I keep it?
Like a real life Funko doll.
Exactly.
Be like, oh my gosh, that's funny. So that's it for me. Router, you got it?
Got it.
Well, let's do it.
Man, there are a ton of new releases out, all of which are it's just kind of all over the place. Let's start with some Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 Black Panther. Ooh, I am excited for that movie. I am excited for that movie. That's for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. For the PS4, Need for Speed Payback, Fortune Valley. PC, PS4, Xbox One, Kingdom Come Deliverance. PS4, Xbox One, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege Advanced Edition.
There you go.
For the PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch, is it FE or FE? F-E? What did they say at the press conference? I can't remember. FE?
These seems to be in the memory banks, but I don't know if it's right.
Yeah, I'm almost tempted to say FE, but I don't know. It's all good. But anyway, that's out. For the PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, The Fall Part 2 Unbound. Dynasty Warriors 9 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Radiant Historia, Perfect Chronology for the 3DS.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, right. Owlboy for the Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap for the PS4, Nintendo Switch. Pinstripe Boy, no, I'm kidding. Pinstripe for the PS4.
I totally believed it.
Right?
So did
should have
I.
just said it. I should have just stuck with Pinstripe Boy. Battlefield 1 Turning Tides for the PS4. Looks like we got a little DLC there. Fire Emblem Warriors Shadow Dragon Pack for the Nintendo Switch and 3DS. And Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 for the Nintendo Switch are now out and about. We did have 2 oops, one on Discord. Arctic Warlocks Chris claimed that Bill Belichick did nothing in Cleveland. Having grown up in the Cleveland area, I had to throw the oops card and say Bill did coach the Browns and got them into the playoffs in 1994. Ignoring all other seasons, he did at least that. When the Browns owner moved the team to Baltimore, Bill was fired after the 95 season. The 30 for 30, the 2 Bills on ESPN is a good watch. So there you have it. And then over on Twitter, our boy Scotty Lindsay, as a 4th grade teacher, I'm a person whose job mirrors their college education. Just saying. In all seriousness, college has become less about career preparedness and more about making money off of college students. We are overdue for change in education. And that is coming from our educator, of our community educator, Mr. Scotty Lindsay. So yes, thank you for that. And
That's right.
Yes, in a case like this, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Totally
I'm not
agree.
recalling what that's a reference to, so I'm going to say that's after I left. Or did that happen before and I just don't remember?
You could claim that if you want. No, we were just talking about the college education process, whether if there's a need for it, depending on what you're doing. And in his case, absolutely. And so,
I think we had talked about how very few people are actually doing what they went to school for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Makes sense.
yeah. So there you have it. Back to you, gentlemen.
Nice. Christopher.
All right, well, I'm going to start with the story that I like the most this week, and that would be that the London Spitfire won the Stage 1 Finals Championship in the Overwatch League.
Aces high.
Nice,
And
Eduardo.
that is Ed's team, and the crazy thing is so they're still not even number 1 in the standings, which makes sense because the standings go for the entire season, and at the end of each stage, they have a playoff for a champion of that stage. So they only won that. However, it's still a big deal.
It's like college football.
Yeah, it's still a big deal because number 1 is the first one, but number 2, they won $100,000 for winning that.
Wow.
That they spread amongst the team. Now, granted, London Spitfire, I think, is one of the largest teams. They have 12 men on their roster, but still, that's not a small chunk of change, to be split in between them. And not only that, but they did it in, I would say, unexpected fashion, because while the London Spitfire are absolutely one of the better teams in the league, and everybody kind of would say that, they had already lost to the team that they played in the finals before, and they lost the first 2 games in the round, and it's only a best of 5. So
wow.
I actually, I'll be completely straight up about it. I was tired and I fell asleep, and I just didn't want. I was like, well, I really wanted London to win, but it looks like New York's going to take this pretty handedly. Sleep, and then I wake up. It turns out London had a reverse sweep, and they won the last 3 matches.
Wow.
Wow.
It was crazy. I watched a little bit of the replay of it, and man, I'm super excited about stage 2. And I was telling Ed earlier, I was thinking that there was like a 2 or 3 week lull before the next stage starts, but it's actually only 1, so we get to get back to Overwatch League next week. Yes. I'm super excited about it. And congrats to Ed and this team, the London Spitfire Stage 1 champions.
It's been a great first stage. I'm really excited about what's to come.
Yeah, me too.
I love that. Hot Wheels has made a real-life version of Rocket League with tiny remote control cars.
Nice.
I'm in.
What?
I think that is excellent.
That's so
I
cool.
agree.
And
What a great idea.
I'd imagine this could be extremely difficult to play.
I couldn't agree more there, too.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a board, there's a ball, there's RC cars, and you're controlling them, and you're hitting them around. There's goals.
That is awesome.
It probably doesn't.
How are they going to do the boost?
Every time you get it in there?
How do they do the boost?
There's probably no boost. There's no jumping or anything like that. It's just going to be,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a 1-to-1 router. Come on.
Come on. That would be... I got all excited. That would be pretty amazing.
But I thought that was really cool, and I just love that it's turning into a real life thing. I probably won't get it because why, but
Right.
I just love that Hot Wheels did this, and they're obviously the perfect people to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And what a great video game thing brought to life.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's so cool. I didn't see a price on it, but I don't need to see a price.
You don't need to be tempted.
Sold.
No, exactly. It's like I would if I got it, it would just to be to have it. Like I probably would never open it because my kids are too small for that to even kind of be fun to try to do with.
Right.
But it would just be cool to have a real life Rocket League thing in your house. So
Right.
I could see myself getting it just for the tchotchke value of having it on a shelf.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's not like my portal gun really works either.
Oh, it doesn't?
Dang it.
No, I tried it. It didn't work.
No. Dang
Yeah. I was trying to clean up poop with it.
Yep.
It doesn't work. I had my bag out and I was like, all right,
watch
dog
this, honey.
poop
This is
in the
going to work.
bag.
And watch. Oh, dang it.
Blue to orange. Go.
Exactly.
Gabe, I just saw online the set will cost $180.
Oh, that's not bad.
Ooh. Yep, definitely not doing that.
Yeah, I knew that was coming when you heard, oh, that's not bad. I knew it was that.
I thought it was going more 250 range. I was like, ooh, it seems expensive.
How many cars is in the set?
2. No, I'm kidding.
I thought like 35.
$35.
Yeah, if you would have asked me to guess, I would have said it would have been a $50 thing.
Yeah.
No, I was way off.
The way it looks. I know, but like you would think little remote control cars. I mean, we're buying little drones for like $12.
That's
Like
true.
how much can
It's true.
RC? Those fly. Mm-hmm. Chris, what else you got, brother?
So in a news story that's a bit of a head scratcher, but then also like okay, might as well have that too. Microsoft's Xbox app that is on iOS and Android has been updated to include party chat.
Yeah.
So kind of the way they talked about it, like, when I say they, I mean this article I'm reading. It's actually an article from Engadget. So this is not Microsoft marketing speak because this would not be good for them. But it's like, if you're like rushing home and you want to catch up with your friends and see where they are in the raid before you can get there and jump in with them, then you can do that now. So I'm like, I mean, I think of it more as like, hey, if you're not if you're not using Discord or something, you could use this for, I guess, PC chat, or if you you could even, honestly, you could probably use this if you're subscribed to Xbox Live for chat whenever you're playing on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if it'd be any better or
right.
worse than it would be on the Nintendo's actual app. But
Can you chat with people? So you can chat with people on their Xboxes through the app on your phone?
yeah, through Xbox Live. Yeah, so it could be all people just on phones, but chatting through Xbox Live through the Xbox app. But it could also be somebody on
what
their
I'm saying
Xbox
is-
One and you're on your phone, and yeah,
Right.
you can all be in a party chatting. Yeah. So I don't really know what the practical use is for it, but I mean, hey, it's always good to have options, I guess. And I saw the update come through on my iPad, my iPhone today, so I downloaded them. I don't know if I'm going to be using them, but they're there.
There you have that. Yeah, I don't know about that either. We talked about this a few weeks ago, but there was a Tencent had in China had the Player Unknown's Battleground mobile game release. And people are saying it's actually really good,
Yeah.
which seems impossible.
Yeah, I posted a link on Twitter to some video of one playing. It was like a long video, too. I think it was like a 9-minute video of the guy. He's speaking all in Chinese, so I couldn't tell what he was saying. But the game was running. I was like, this in some ways looks better than the version on my Xbox One. I mean, it's got on-screen controls. It's touch controls, but still, I mean, it looks almost the same and in some ways smoother. So this is impressing me.
That's just crazy. It's interesting to see how we're stretching the bounds of online play. I think that if you told me 5 years ago that I could do a battle royale with 100 people on my cell phone,
Yeah.
I would be impressed.
Right.
And here it is 5 years after the theoretical conversation, and I'm still impressed. And so I think that's pretty impressive. And I think that there's probably little hacky ways that you can get it here in the States.
Yeah, probably.
But that definitely feels like something. I don't know. That's just pretty impressive to me.
Yeah, it
that
is.
they can crunch that thing down. I mean, especially like Chris mentioned, the fact that it played so terribly for a while on the big old hundreds of dollars console that you have sitting at home. But like the thing in your pocket can also handle it.
Right.
And so I don't know. Good on them for bringing this over and for making it, happen and using, and Chris is saying it's on-screen buttons. I'd imagine you can Bluetooth some things to your phone and use a controller. But
Yeah. I mean, I would assume you can because both iOS and Android have the ability to Bluetooth attached controllers. It's just got to be supported by the game as far as I understand it. But I don't see why you couldn't do that, and then you may have as good an experience, almost a smaller one still, but
That's crazy.
right.
yeah.
And I guess they're bringing another game too called Player Unknown's Battlegrounds Army Attack.
Yeah, they're
Which they're
doing
saying
two
is a little bit
things,
different, but
and,
it's gonna contain naval battles as well.
Interesting.
So that's crazy. And the iPhones, I mean, these screens and the Samsungs and some of these other phones that are out there, they have amazing screens on them. So
Yes, they do.
the game is going to look good, and I'm very impressed.
Yep.
Right.
I'm glad that it's running well.
Agreed.
It's awesome. What else you got, Chris?
So the Evil Within 2. Ed, didn't you play this game?
I did. I played it for a little while. And
Okay.
I just fell off.
Gotcha. Well, it was recently updated. It's been out for a while. It came out. It was originally released in October, but they just got a free update that adds it, or it makes it to where I guess it's a toggle in the menus, but you can play the game now in first person.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And I don't know. I have not played this game, but I would have to imagine, based on what I do know of the game, that would kind of totally change it. To me, first person stuff always seems scarier than third person, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's,
Yes.
I mean, I'm not playing either, let's be honest, but if you were telling me I got to play one, it's like, well, I'm going to play the third person because then I can crouch in a corner and I can look around this trash can rather than have to just
Exactly
listen
right.
for it.
Yep.
But so yeah, so for people who are playing it, I mean, I would think that this is such a difference that even if you already played through it, I feel like this would probably be almost feel like a totally different game. So I'd say it's a great update, especially a free one at that.
Yeah.
So I think that I remember this generation. It was GTA 5 when it came to next gen consoles or what's current gen now, and on the PC. They had this where you could switch it into a first person mode, and that kind of blew my mind. So I just love seeing when this comes, even now, we're this far into this generation, it still blows my mind when they're able to just do that. And now it's just it's first person now. It's like you just totally changed what the game is, just like with an update. That's so crazy to me. So kudos to them for bringing this up.
Ed, as somebody who played it, what do you think of that? Like, if you would have played it first person, how do you think it would have felt different?
Yeah, definitely the crouching thing, like Chris said. I love using that third person, almost a cheat to look around corners and what have you. And I watched the entire game on YouTube actually before I even played it, and there are some hide and seek moments in it that in first person, because that's what Resident Evil is that first person, and I just
yes, it is.
I can't even imagine playing those sections. I would just be so frustrated trying to hide from those things.
Frustrated, or is it just fear inducing? And that's why it's frustrating.
It's kind of both, because it's this scary monster that you can't beat, like just with fists.
Right. I know that's right.
So, yeah.
When I got that first axe in Resident Evil, I was like, yes, an axe at least.
Right? I have something.
Yeah, but that girl, boy, that did not work as easy as it would work on me. I'll tell you that much.
Was it up in the attic?
She took a licking and kept on ticking.
Yes, she did.
I thought this was interesting and a little bit sad, but I kind of get it. Valve has removed all titles from Incel Games off of Steam because they said that the publisher appeared to use multiple Steam accounts from their employees to put positive reviews on their game.
Come on.
Which is against the rules. And I just thought, like, I guess if you don't read the fine print, because they said it's against some of the, terms and conditions, but who reads the terms and conditions?
No,
like, I probably signed my children away like 5 times.
Yeah. Right.
And so, it just made me really glad that iTunes doesn't do that, because I'm pretty sure that Lauren is one of our first iTunes reviews for the podcast. It's like Lauren Router says, this podcast is super fun.
That's right. That's a trip.
So
man. I can't. Yeah,
I know.
I hate when that stuff happens, just because it's like, come on, man. Like, let's focus your product on what it is and let people decide for yourself. Don't kind of force feed it.
Yeah.
And so
but also it makes perfect sense, right?
Sure,
like,
sure.
You want the first reviews to be good, and so you send your team to be like, hey, go rate the thing good. Like, I would imagine it happens all over the place. Like, restaurants giving themselves 5-star ratings and on Google and stuff like that. If you're a waitress and you like the place, you're like, oh yeah, 5 stars because my restaurant's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that they took such drastic measures as to cut ties with the publisher altogether.
Right.
It must have been several different accounts going on at the same time.
I know. I don't know how many it is, but
all of them.
Yeah.
All of the reviews.
Enough to get caught.
Yep.
Yeah. And like you said, it happens everywhere, though. Even you go to Amazon and you look up peanut butter, and there's like 3-paragraph reviews raving, and it's like, okay, this wasn't Jane down the street.
They're using marketing language too, and you're like, really?
Yeah.
Is that what Jane Smith said or whatever? Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
You can usually tell.
It's like, this peanut butter is delicious. Right. Love, Mrs. Jill.
Right.
So they did release a statement. Incel Games did. And,
we
kind of,
didn't know.
apologizing. And they're saying that you didn't intend to threaten anyone by the email that was sent. Because there was an email sent out by the CEO, kind of telling everybody like, hey, go hook us up.
Oh, right.
And so, so it just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? Chris, you got anything else, brother?
The last one that I have is just a quick little story, but PUBG had announced that just last month alone, they banned 1 million players for cheating.
Somebody didn't listen to the show last week.
Oh, did y'all mention that last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it.
But this story just posted yesterday.
This is so awkward right now.
They must. It's because they must listen to the podcast.
That's right.
Are you sure this wasn't after I left?
It probably was.
Oh, really? Was it?
No, you left during the questions.
Yeah, because Gabe, you said the story.
Yeah, I brought the story up. Yep.
Someone wasn't even paying attention while he was on the podcast.
Doggone it.
Man,
you were that mad at me that you ignored everything I said. I'm sorry I was late. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I forgive you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My goodness.
Well, that's all I had.
But that is crazy. A million people is a lot. We'll just reiterate.
Chris, tell us about your week.
Gabe, you look like John Katina. Did you know that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sitting in front of a mirror, and I'm pretty sure I don't look anything like John Katina. I did take it as a compliment, though, because the Katinas are some good-looking men.
Yes, they are. That's fun.
I didn't mean that sounds so forward. Sorry.
Happy Valentine's Day to me.
Yeah, exactly. Chocolatey delicious. Eduardo.
Yes, sir.
What you got for us, brother?
Well, over on the YouTube channels, looking at our top 10 videos for this week, the week of February 7th through the 13th, combining average watch time and views. At number 10, we've got Hue Part 7 Yellow.
Oh, that feels like a new one.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've said yellow on here very often. Number 9, Watch Dogs 2 Part 6 Bottom Dollar Complete.
You've definitely said that.
I feel like I've heard that one before. Number 8, Married to the Games Episode 282, the Tardy Edition.
My bad.
Number 7, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
Nice.
Climbing. People are waiting for that game to come out. It's coming back up again.
I love it.
Number 6, Hue Part 4 Pink. Number 5, Ori and the Blind Forest Part 14 Thornfelt Swamp.
Oh, you just couldn't help yourself. I understand. I get it.
Knee-jerk reaction.
I get it.
My bad.
Old habits die hard.
That hurt. Sorry.
Number 4, Watch Dogs 2 Part 48 Ghost Signals. Number 3, Hue Part 10 University. Number 2, Hue Part 11 The Ending.
Ooh.
Uh-oh,
what do we got?
Number 1,
Decrowned.
Watch Dogs
Married
2,
to the Games, episode 48. I'm just kidding.
Watch Dogs 2 Part 19
There it is.
Paint Job.
Paint job. Of
The
course.
old
Nice.
paint job.
Good old paint job.
That game, man, hanging on.
Seriously. Still haven't played that
gosh.
game.
That's so great. Thank you, Eduardo.
You're welcome.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you guys, what video game movie are you looking forward to the most? Starting over on Discord. We've got Mark Boucher. He said, I would say Nintendo's chance of finally making a good Mario movie is what I'm waiting to see. Tomb Raider looks interesting too. Jayor1313. This answer is kind of cheating, but I'm most excited for Wreck-It Ralph 2. It's not directly based on a video game, but has a bunch of video game
Yeah,
characters
that
in
works
it.
though.
It's definitely a video game movie.
Love
Yes,
that movie.
exactly.
Love that movie.
He said, I'm super hyped for Ready Player One 2.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, shoot. My computer is going super slow.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I'm on that old Alienware. It's a couple years old now.
That's all right. It's all right.
Over on Twitter, we've got Mr. Ham at MTTG Brazilian team.
Those are the noises they make over there.
That's
Clearly.
right. Yep. If you've ever been to Brazil,
And that's what we know about Brazil.
exactly. Look out for those birds. He said the one that breaks the curse or Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh, there you go.
Ian
Ooh, that's
Corey
another-
Drake at iDrake76. Uncharted with Tom Holland as young Nathan Drake. That's right. That's been
Nice.
in the talks. That's right. They've been talking about that one.
Yeah.
Robert Darrowgood Jr.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
The one that doesn't suck. But having
Yes.
said that, I have high hopes for Tomb Raider and Uncharted because they're already steeped in plot, and the Super Mario movie because I love the Despicable Me movies.
When does
Yes.
when does Tomb Raider come out? Isn't that soon?
No.
No.
I don't think that. I don't even know if they're like started. I don't even know. Like, is it even in post? I don't
Tomb
even know if
Raider.
they've even started. Oh, Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Tomb
Yeah,
Raider,
Tomb
yes,
I thought you
it's
said
coming in.
in my brain you said Uncharted.
Somebody
Tomb
look
Raider
it up.
should be soon. Yes.
March 16th.
There it is.
There we have it.
Couple weeks.
Mike Lopez at Taco Douglas. Haven't seen anything for it yet, but Sleeping Dogs with Donnie Yen. Hoping for good things.
That would be awesome.
Tessie Rue at Loki Lover 101. Ready Player One. I loved the book and I'm excited to see it play out on the big screen.
Yeah.
And that's Chris. That was your answer from last week as well, since you weren't here. I remember seeing you type that up. And then spam humbug over on the forums. That's my Wild West sound because that's what the forums feel like these days.
Yeah.
Probably Ed's the police over there kicking all the spammers out.
Spam.
And spam humbug, who is not spam, keeping it alive single-handedly.
Yep.
Probably that new Mario movie that's coming up. The one Illumination Entertainment is working on. My kids are pretty excited for it, and I'll be interested to see how the people who gave us Despicable Me treat the property.
There you go.
Speaking of Mario, I forgot to mention in my weekend update, I beat Mario Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, well done.
Congratulations.
Fun game. There's
Nice.
more to do, so I haven't done the more to do. I'm in it right now. And I don't want to talk about it just in case it's spoilery. I don't think it is, but just in case.
But you're going to do it, or you are doing
You're
it?
going to do the more to do?
I'm in the midst of the more to do right now.
Nice. Are you moon collecting?
I have been collecting those, but not like super purposefully. But like I said, I probably have around 270 moons.
Nice.
I don't know how many there are. Probably 1,000. I won't be getting anywhere close to that.
Okay.
You know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. You can come to marriedtothegames.com and join spam humbug on the forums. You can check out us on youtube.com/Married to the Games, like Ed said, and now on Patreon at patreon.com/MTTG. If you'd like to support the show and you like what's going on over here, we'd appreciate it. Throw $1 in the bucket. It could be, you could subtract it from your tithe.
There you go.
It's all, just give it to the storehouse. And Tim.
Rate us on iTunes so we can all look like John Katina. Happy Black History Month, everyone.
There you go.
I like it. Well, let's get into some questions.
All right, we're going to start with Discord. Mark Boucher. In honor of Black Panther coming out tomorrow, who's your favorite MCU character and why?
Oh, Iron Man.
Right.
Only because of the movies and because I think... Have you guys seen that shampoo commercial where it says everybody deserves a comeback and it's Winona Ryder?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's an amazing commercial.
No.
You don't really see her face.
Yes.
And then at the end it shows her and it's like everybody deserves a comeback.
That started during the Golden Globes,
Super Bowl.
I believe.
Was it, yeah, was it
Super
Golden
Bowl.
Globes? I don't remember
I think
which
it
one
was Golden, because I was like, what am I missing here?
Yeah. Anyway, I love a good comeback, and I feel like that's what your boy Robert... What's his name? Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I
want to say Robert Darrell Good Jr.
Robert Jr. Congratulations, you're a celebrity now.
But I
That's
think
hilarious.
That's what's happened with him, and he's just been so amazing with that character on screen, at least. I don't know who it would be if I had to pick anybody from the comics, but especially from the movies, the universe that we know in the theatrical releases, at least.
Yeah.
Chris?
I'm probably going to have to say the same. My favorite to watch is the Hulk, but I mean, he's on there so limited, just because he's an all CGI character. And honestly, I know we're talking MCU, which is obviously different from the actual comic universe, but when I was into comics as a kid, I was always bored of Iron Man. So when that first one came out, I remember thinking this is going to be stupid. And I actually watched the first one and I didn't care for it that much. I was like, it's okay, but it's not that great. But then throughout the series or the MCU, since it's been going, he's absolutely been like the pillar that just stays there at the center,
right.
and like he just nails that character so well. He made me think, man, Iron Man's actually pretty cool. I mean, obviously all the CGI and everything else did that as well, but yeah, I just was totally surprised that I ended up liking Iron Man as much as I did, because when I was a kid, I thought Iron Man I was like, man, Captain America's so much better, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like him because like it feels like he's so true to the character in the comics. Like just his wit and his comedic timing, Robert Downey Jr., man. Oh man, it's just so good. Like I never want him to stop playing that character, even though I know it has to come to an end. But I just like never want to see him stop playing it. He's just so good in it.
Yeah, he's
Ed,
perfect
what about
for
you?
it.
What about you, Ed?
It's kind of the same thing. I don't know anything about the comics, but just as far as the movies go, it's got to be Iron Man, just because even if it's not an Avengers movie, sometimes he'll pop up and it's like, okay, now I'm enjoying the movie because Robert Downey Jr. is making me laugh.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
Exactly.
He does a good job, but I think Deadpool is Marvel, and I think I'm going to go with him just because that was a nice breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
A
Dirty,
nice
stinky
breath of R-rated fresh air.
Yeah, golly.
Dirty, stinky one, but yes, I'm right there with you.
Foul air.
I agree with both Gabe and Ed. Gabe, I think you're right. Robert Downey Jr. coming back, having such a, he kind of had a roller coaster of a career for a little bit, but this kind of solidifies him. But just the way he plays Stark and the way he's, just his wit is perfect, and you always have a smile whenever he enters a scene, and
That's
it's great.
right.
I do love Deadpool too, just because it's just raw, gritty, and I love Ryan Reynolds anyway. But I really enjoyed, and I didn't read a lot of the comics, but the movies, I really enjoyed all the Captain Americas, and Lauren did too. Like we went through, they had a marathon on what was it, FX or something like that, like a couple months ago, and we watched the back-to-back ones. What was it? Captain America and Winter Soldier, and then we ended up watching Civil War too. And man, they are really good. Like
Civil War,
all American.
Civil
dudes,
War
and
is
it's
one of
just
my
kinda
faves.
cool. Yeah. Civil War is definitely, I think, my favorite.
Gosh,
so I really
so
enjoyed
good.
it. So yeah, it's great.
I got to give a shout out too to Hugh Jackman. I think he's done amazing things with Wolverine.
Yeah.
And he's a close second for me for favorite.
Oh yeah, I forget that because they never cross them over, really, do they? And
Well, it's because they were owned by Fox.
Okay.
And so
that
you
makes sense.
can't. That's the reason that the Hulk has not had a standalone movie. I mean, the first one with Ed Norton is technically in the MCU because it all ties together, and you see what's his face, homeboy, at the very end of it. Spoilers, sorry. But
Right.
the reason
we say
that they have
homeboy, so it's not that big a spoiler.
Yeah.
the reason that they haven't been able to do it is because Universal owned the rights to standalone Hulk movies, and so
Right.
So now with Disney buying back those rights, I think they could do. I think they got the Hulk rights. I know they got all the stuff from Fox. I don't remember. I don't remember if Universal stuff is part of that
Just
deal or
stick
not.
with the Ed Norton one, man. That one was great.
Oh, I like this new guy too.
No, I like Ruffalo better, and I actually really like
Ruffalo's.
Ed Norton stuff. But I'm more of a Ruffalo guy.
Well, I mean, remember
he plays
they
him
came
so
out
different.
with that. They came out with that first Hulk, which I thought was terrible, and
Yes.
then the one with Ed Norton. That's the one that I was like, that's great, good story. He did really well in it, and then, but yeah, I do like Ruffalo as the Hulk as well. There's just some good wit there, and that's the funny thing. I think a lot of what Robert Downey Jr. is doing is kind of, I think the writing is kind of going that way as well with some of the other characters too, because I know in Avengers, like the Hulk had a couple really funny moments. Like everybody's had kind of these little witty moments, and I think that's all due to Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, and I don't remember Bruce being that funny.
No, he's always a serious dude. I
Yeah.
thought.
Talking about Bruce
so he's a lot
Banner,
funnier.
the character?
Yeah, Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember being that
He's the
funny. so-
scientist. He's like the nerdy guy. So like
Right.
you don't.
Well, not
expect
only
him to
that,
be-
he's trying to keep as even keel as possible because he doesn't know. I mean, he knows
Destroy
rage
the
brings
place.
out the Hulk, but it's like, man, I don't want to rock the boat any direction.
Exactly. Well, the secret
Yeah.
is he's always angry. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a really good question. Thimble Black, for those who watch esports, Chris and Ed, who is your favorite player?
We were actually talking about this exact same thing earlier tonight.
Yeah.
I cannot at this point. I cannot name a favorite player. That's just too daunting a task because there's too many amazing players. Like every team's got their one player that you just got to make sure you pay attention to when they're on the game because it's ridiculous.
Is there anybody just on Dallas's team maybe that sticks out to you?
Oh yeah, on Dallas's team, Taimu and Effect are ridiculous. Like they are crazy good. It's so fun to see them be on there together. And I'm a sucker because I'm one of my favorite characters to play in the game is McCree. He's actually the character I've played the most of. So anybody that plays that character, I'm glued in, and they play that. They'll bounce back and forth and playing that character. So
yeah,
there you go. Ed?
I'm going to sound like a broken record with the conversation I just had with Chris, but there are so many people who do such a good job, as we mentioned, but there's a Dallas player named Mickey that stands out to me, and it's just because of who he is as a personality. He's always smiling. He's always encouraging. Even when they lose, he's like, "Come on, guys, come on!" And he's just such a magnetic personality, and you just want to be like, "Oh, give him a big hug." He just is always positive and uplifting to the team, and I just love watching him and behind the scenes footage with him, and it's just a joy to watch this kid have a good time.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's a great answer. I like that a lot. Mine is never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to Twitter. Let's get a little serious just for a second. Nathan Thomas at Voice by Nathan. How do you deal with stuff like what happened in Florida today? How do you tell your kids? How do you not think about it every day, hoping you don't get that dreaded call? What do you do to prepare your kids if they are ever in that situation? And for those that don't know, there was another school shooting today down in Florida. Apparently 17 people were killed in that in that incident. Yeah, it was not good today.
That many? Are you serious?
I believe so. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it was not pretty.
gosh.
Apparently, it was a former student of that school. I believe it was a high school. Correct?
yes.
And so it was. It was not a good day. And this is definitely getting more and more. We're hearing a lot more and more of these stories, which is really unfortunate. I will say this. The school that Piper's in, they have drills, and Piper has told us this, that they have prepared these kids for drills. If there is a, quote, bad man that comes in, or woman that comes in, they are told to get into their cubbies and make sure that door is locked. So they are actually, the public school here and the elementary school that's right down the street from me, they are actually doing these drills now, which I think is sad to do, but at the same time, I think that's super smart. Because, I mean, you need to be prepared for something like that. Anything can happen, and the more you can prepare your kids for any situation like that, I think you have an edge there.
Yeah, I mean,
it's horrible. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it all down, but we have to address it.
Right, it's one of those things where, gosh, I stayed away from the news today because I saw it this morning. And something about it just turned me off so bad that I was like, you know what? I'll just hear about it later, and kind of did my day without the TV on. But all I can think to do is pray and pray for the victims' families.
Amen.
Obviously, but then also for the suspect's family because they're about to go through the ringer as well. And they don't deserve it either. And then, shoot, man, all you can do is love your people while they're here. Because you just never know. It's not just a school shooting. You know what I'm saying? There's a million things that can happen. There's car accidents. There's sickness. There's all kind of things that happen in this world. And you can't be prepared for all of it. And so I think the most important thing to do as parents and as friends is to really take time out. And it's a lot of work, and some days you don't want to do it, but just like love people well and give them their flowers while they're here. And just choose to live, or try to live most days to the fullest. Like, of course, we figure we'll get tomorrow, right? And so, but you just don't always know for sure. And so, trying to not be lazy with your time. There's times that I don't want to do things with the kids, but they're not going to be this age again. And so, I'm I'm not constantly thinking about them dying or anything like that, but there is a laziness with friendships and with parenting that can kind of seep in there because every day might feel the same and you just kind of go along, yada, yada, yada. But encouraging people and saying nice things to each other, that's something that doesn't take any time but can really change somebody's day. And then if something like this happens, you don't live with regret. You don't live with, oh man, I wish I just woulda. I didn't really this is going to sound terrible, but I didn't necessarily really want to go see my grandfather the other day because I knew that we'd sit in the house and we would just talk and it just kind of would be, quote unquote, for lack of a better term, it just kind of be boring. And all my buddies were doing all these fun things in Napa and I wasn't going to be able to do that. But I was like, Gabe, this is not about you. Like, don't live your life. So this is what I'm having to tell myself. Don't always live your life so much like each day is about you and like you need to make everything, well, I don't want to miss out on such and such. I was like, you going to your grandfather's might not have anything to do with you. It might have everything to do with him and you get to facilitate that.
That's great, man.
And he called me after I left and he goes, you have no idea what you did to my day today by surprising me because he didn't know I was in town. And so just little things like that. So, he's 92. Death is around the corner, and so, it's just inevitable. And so, all you can do is live your life to your fullest and just love people. Love them, love them, love them. Pray for your family. Pray for these guys that are going through this crazy stuff. And I don't know what happened to the gunman, if he's alive or dead or whatever, but
he's arrested.
He's arrested, so hopefully they'll get some answers. That's always the thing that we're always wondering because usually these guys end up dying and, maybe, through that, these parents will get some closure. I mean, it'll never be enough. But, that's what I would say.
Yeah,
Thank you for that, Gabe. That was really good.
Yeah, no problem. Chris, you have something?
I'm not really. There's really not anything else you can say outside of kind of the advice that you gave, whereas you just need to live today as though there isn't a tomorrow in everything, in all aspects, because I too, and everybody kind of runs into that where, maybe you have a bad day and when you get home, it's like, I don't really feel like sitting and having a conversation with Stacy. I want to just go in my office and take care of a few things I need to do on my computer and maybe go to bed early or whatever. But it's like, well, but it's not her fault that I had a bad day or anything like that. And I need to take that time to spend with her because tomorrow's not a given, who knows what's going to happen. She could be and we live really close to work. Like it could be something as simple as that. And then she's gone from that or anything, it could be a situation like this, but around over here where we are, I mean, you never really know what it is. So, I mean, I don't have kids and kids just aren't really something that I've ever kind of been part of my life plan really. But I have to be completely honest when I say, like, as I've gotten older and older, like over the years, this has been one of the things where just there's a lot of things to love about this world. And there's a lot of things in the day and age that we live in. There's so many great things, but there's also a lot of bad things. And part of it is just like, man, I don't even know how I would raise a kid in this. Like, how would I do it and not be like freaked out every 2 minutes, if that was even what I, the route I chose to go.
Right. And
I honestly don't know what I would do.
If you thought that too, you would absolutely go insane. You can't keep thinking about it. You just got to love your kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eduardo, what about you? You got anything to add, buddy?
Yeah, just I had a really good friend pass away when he was really super, way too young, in his 20s still. And it hit me pretty hard. And one of the things I learned from that was, especially if I'm arguing with someone or upset with someone, I find myself since then saying, what if that's the last thing I said to that person? And sometimes like if I'm in a bad mood and I'm short with Sarah and I go to the store and I think to myself, what if that's the last thing I said to her and I get in a wreck on the way to the store? And so you just kind of, what Gabe said, just remembering to love on people while they're here, while you're here. And, you can't be prepared for everything, but, in the meantime, you can love people, and that's definitely something that you don't have to be rich or powerful to just love on someone.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
man.
so true.
Very fitting as it's our Valentine's Day edition. So yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's perfect. Great thoughts and comments, everybody. Appreciate it. At Dopalicious, wife's sick, fell asleep in the middle of the bed. Do you wake her up, tell her to move over and go to sleep? Do you sleep on the couch? Or take the opportunity and let Talion dominate a few more captains till it's time to wake up for work? I say do that one, sir.
Yeah. I say C then B.
Right. Yes. See, then if you just decide to fade. But yeah, man, if she's sick, just let it be.
Yeah, man, you got to put yourself in other people's Timberlands, man. You got to put on them other people's shoes. If you were sick in the bed, the last thing you'd want to hear is, "Hey, scooch over. I'm trying to go."
Move over. I'm trying to go. Hey, can you stop coughing or throwing up? I'm trying to get some sleep here.
It really doesn't matter which of the alternatives you choose. You can do whatever you want, but you don't wake her up and tell her to move.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's a better decision than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ed, you would agree, right?
Yeah, I mean, with Sarah, just if she falls asleep before me and I go in and I'll just kind of lay down a little, and as soon as she hears the bed move, she'll scooch over just kind of automatically or whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't have to wake her up. She just kind of, and she may not even be awake, but she'll kind of
a reflex
scoot or whatever. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, when you're sick and on that them drugs, though, sometimes the instincts ain't all there.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
very true. Yes, exactly. Good question. Josh Stapleton at MTTG Street Team.
Street
Team. What was a toy as a kid that the marketing made you feel like you had to have it? Also, does marketing influence your video game purchases now? Very good question.
A toy that I felt like I had to have was the Super Soaker 50.
Nice.
And
Yes,
it wasn't just because of the commercials, because they definitely were there, but it was also all my friends had one, and I had to have that water gun. I had to have it.
Did you get it?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, brother.
You beg it
good mama
long
right
enough, you finally get it.
And then does any of the marketing influence your video game purchases, Chris?
You know, I mean, I feel like I have to say yes. I mean, I'm not someone who I usually, if I'm questionable on a game, there's very few games that got me so hyped knowing nothing or never playing a
Right.
franchise or whatever that I just go by like completely blind without reading a single review. But there's definitely been games where I'm like, oh, I'm super psyched about this game, and it's, you know, a brand new IP, so that we don't really know anything about it. But I usually will still wait for you know, like a review or something like that. I mean, I guess I could say Death Stranding. Like, we don't know hardly anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll buy it day one.
You're
Yeah.
in.
Even if the reviews come out and like it's a 2 out of 10, I'm probably still buying it. I mean,
Yeah.
So there's that one.
Ed, what about you, brother?
I mean, growing up, any Star Wars toy
Yep.
was, you know, as soon as you saw that there was a commercial for it and you saw it was available, I wanted it. And then now, at first, my initial reaction was, I don't know that I'm exposed to marketing really, but then I double checked myself and was like, but I watch a lot of game trailers, and that's definitely marketing. And I have definitely seen a trailer that made me want to pick up a game.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Tim?
Very true. Yeah, I'm with you, Ed. A lot of the Star Wars ones, especially when like Empire came out and then Return of the Jedi, like we had new toys coming out. Oh my gosh, we had to have them, you know?
Yep.
So I would definitely say any of the Star Wars stuff. And man, I still have to see the Toys That Made Us, that Netflix series.
Oh, that's
Isn't
really
that what it's
good, yeah.
called? I can't wait, because I know there's some Star Wars in there, and that's just going to be speaking my language.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as marketing influence, it's funny. Like, I know the games that I want to play, and then if there's like a trailer on TV or a commercial on TV that I see, like I know they did a few for Assassin's Creed or for Shadow of War, it just kind of reinforces like, yeah, I'm really excited for this game. Not necessarily sways me, it just kind of reinforces that I know I want to play this game, and I can't wait to play it. And now that this commercial is out, even more so, I want to play it. So
Yeah.
I mean, it does something to you in one way or another. It may not sway you, but it
Mm-hmm.
could also reinforce, and then that's smart marketing, because that keeps that in your mind.
Yeah. I think as a kid, I mean, you know, growing up loving video games, every marketing thing about video games when I was a kid always was usually better than the actual game.
Yep.
Right.
And so I'd say like everything that came out when I was a child, I had to have, whether it's Mario or Contra or whatever, like any commercial was always overhyping the game and what it could actually deliver,
Right.
graphically and things like that.
Yeah.
Back in the day. But these days, I think marketing for me works a little bit in reverse. So if you were to say God of War got a revamp, it's coming out, I'd want to get it. If you told me Tomb Raider has a new movie coming out with this new girl, I'd want to see it. However, seeing the commercial and the marketing for Tomb Raider has totally made me not want to see the movie.
Hey,
And so-
there you go.
Funny.
So usually marketing now, kind of like Chris was saying, I usually know what I want to get before I need to get pumped up. But, the hype train starts with the marketing.
Yeah.
And so when they said Destiny 2's coming, I already wanted to get it. The commercials made it even more enticing because they were just so awesome. But usually I see marketing and I can pick out the negatives and I'm like, oh, I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I would have wanted to see a Tomb Raider movie before seeing the commercial.
Yeah.
And you are a talk the talk and walk the walk kind of a person. So if you hear something and then you see something backing it up, that's going to persuade you either way as well.
Yes, that's right. I'm
Love it.
definitely
That's
like
awesome.
that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
Great
then
question.
like the Justin Timberlake stuff, like the marketing said, this is an album about his hometown
Right,
and his
right.
family and going back to his roots. And that was, I was
none
like,
of that.
oh, all right. And then it came out and Filthy was the first video. And I was like, that's an animatronic robot. What's that got to do about a man of the
that has
woods?
Nothing
Yeah.
to do with the
Yeah,
woods. Exactly.
Now, all of a sudden, I don't want the CD. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Good question, though.
Very good. Final question. Eric Green at The Art of Bacon. How do you recover from saying something mean to your wife on Valentine's Day, asking for a friend?
He's got a lot of wife questions. I need you to start just being nicer to your wife altogether. He had the food question like 2 weeks
down.
ago.
That's right.
Yeah, well, he had the food question 2 weeks ago. It's like, your wife makes something disgusting. What do you do?
Yep.
Asking for a friend.
That's probably the something mean to your wife on Valentine's Day.
I say, yeah. How do you recover? Oh, man.
You need to humble yourself. You need to just
Amen.
strip yourself down and just be like, babe, I am sorry. I was acting like an idiot, and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I was
you gotta
wrong
give
goes
her-
a long way.
Yeah, and give her time. But yeah, like, it's funny. Just a simple I'm sorry. Like sometimes you overlook saying that. You like if I've messed up or something, like I focus on, but I did this, and this, and I'm, but I forget to say I'm sorry. If you say sorry, it goes a long way. Just just break yourself down and be like, I'm sorry.
If we've learned anything from the Me Too movement, it's that a lot of these guys will have these long dissertations of what happened.
Right.
And it will always miss, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And
man,
people
good
will
point.
always
Really
point that
good
out.
point.
They're like, oh, that's weird. 4 paragraphs missing, I'm sorry.
Yep.
And I'm sorry goes way further than you think. It's definitely a pride check. And I think that's why a lot of these men haven't had it in their thing. Because they're like, well, obviously, I'm sorry I wrote this 4-page thing. And you're
Right,
like, not obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
a good point. Yep.
Just like your wife, Jenny told me the other day, I wish, one of her love languages is affirmation, is words of encouragement. And I'm really good at being like, ooh, girl, you fine. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, you look good in that outfit. But I don't often say, baby, you are beautiful. You're beautiful to me.
Nice.
And that
Well
is
done.
2 different things.
Yeah, man. And women
you
pick
gotta-
up on it big time.
That's right. What did
And they
your
know the
parents tell you
difference.
to do right after you did something wrong? Say, I'm sorry. You got to go back to basics, baby.
Yeah,
go back
man.
to the
Yeah.
basics. And maybe your
Ooh, I like
opinion is not as needed as you think. Eduardo?
It's funny. I just today watched the new Chris Rock special.
Me too.
Ooh,
He
get out.
talked about in marriage, one thing he learned from being
Ooh,
divorced.
he was bringing it. He was bringing it too, wasn't he, Ed, on that
oh
marriage
my
thing?
gosh. He said, you're not actually equals. You're both there to serve.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Chris Rock said that.
Yeah,
Chris rocks it after a divorce.
Yeah, and, it's kind of like, here's what I learned, and it's really good stuff he learned.
Good on him.
And he also said, marriage is like being in a band. And as a guy, you always want to be the lead singer. And sometimes you just need to learn to play the tambourine and play the tambourine really well.
Nice.
That's right.
And so, yeah, just, say, I'm sorry and say, things guys don't like to say, like, I was wrong.
Seriously.
And that's really, there's not really much more to it.
It's going to taste bad coming out.
It's going to suck.
But it's worth it.
But I mean, and that goes with, anytime you say something mean to anyone, no matter if it's Valentine's Day or not, you should probably say you're sorry and that you were wrong.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chris?
Just Jinx. You owe me a Coke.
Just say less. Don't. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Amen to that as well.
if you're anything like me, you're analytical. You're like, but here, sure, I went down this road, but it's because of X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D.
Yeah,
they all got me to that
justified.
road. So even though that was the wrong road, it was a logical reason that I got to that road. I just made the wrong step. It just erase all the A, B, C, blah, blah, blah. Just say like, I took the wrong step. Sorry.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
less is
Bring
more.
that
They
on,
don't.
Chris.
It doesn't matter how you got there or your justification. What matters is you screwed up. Just apologize.
Yep.
And, you're hurting somebody's feelings doesn't always begin with you being wrong.
Yeah.
And you have
Right.
to realize that feelings aren't something that you can just
Explain
I don't
away.
know, explain
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not always logic that you hurt somebody's feelings, but the fact is that you hurt their feelings.
Yes.
Woo, that joke is hard for me because I'm like Chris. Me and Chris are two birds of a feather when it comes to that, boy. I'm analytical and feel like I'm logical most of the time, and I'm like, no. A plus B equals C. She was like, I know, but B hurt my feelings.
Right. Yeah,
So it
you
might
try
equal
and
something different than you think.
you try and quote lawyer up, and you like present all these facts.
Yeah.
and then they just take that and they're like, no, that's not the point. You completely
That's
missed
right.
this page right here. This is what we needed.
I'm so lucky because I've got two men in my life that are stark opposites of each other. Tim, our guitar player, is all feels. He's all feeling. He reacts from that, and it makes him more like Jack from This Is Us. He says all the gushy stuff to his kids and his wife, and he's a great husband and father, but he's very emotional, and he gets his feelings hurt really easy. So it's fun to watch him parent and be a father. And then I have Dave on the other side, who we joke about being emotionless. He doesn't cry. He's very analytical. It's just,
that's
it's
funny.
just everything's math. And so watching him be a father, I was telling Tim, if I could marry both of them together and be that person, I'd be like an amazing husband. Because
Be a superhero, man.
Yeah, it all starts with understanding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Golly.
That's amazing.
Stop it, Eric. Stop it.
Right.
Well, we have another caller from Bill. Bill, this is the Love Doctors. I feel like we're on like a radio show or something, man. What's going on? That's actually it. That's it for the questions. Thank you, everybody. I know it was completely last minute. Sorry, I didn't get the question call out earlier.
It's a team effort.
It is. It's always a team effort. But yeah, man, there it is.
Thank you guys so much. The question of the week, speaking of team effort, comes from Chris McCracken.
Hey.
Picking up the slack for your boy this week.
Nice.
What's the rarest trophy / achievement you own, and which one are you the most proud of? Screenshots encouraged.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Gosh, what do you guys think? The rarest trophy / achievement you own. I'm not going to know off the top of my head,
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
but I
don't know the
I
rarest.
was proud of platinuming. Was it Far Cry 4 or was it 3?
Think
I
you
don't
did
remember.
4.
I don't remember, but it was that one was a team because you had to do some multiplayer stuff, and I really had to like grind out because I think I was done with the game already and went back and platinumed that one. And it wasn't so much that I was like, the most proud of it, but it was like I worked for that one.
Yep.
Okay, I worked for that one, and so I felt like that one was when I set my sights on. I was like, I'm gonna go get that one. So I'm gonna say whichever one that was. Ben Ebig helped me with that one. Router helped me with that one a little bit.
I think it was 4, man. I want to say 4.
Was it 4?
I think.
I can't wait for 5. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, man. Pre-ordered.
There you go. Chris?
I think in the little bit I was tooling around with my trophies today, I think the rarest one that I have is actually, and this kind of surprised me, the Star Wars Battlefront Platinum.
Ooh. Really?
Only 0.2% of people have that.
Wow.
So of all the ones that I have, I think that might be the rarest one, but the one that I'm the proudest of is the Metal Gear Solid 5 one with a close runner-up to Destiny 1's Platinum.
Yeah, you grinded out Metal Gear Solid 5 because I remember it took you a couple weeks to do that.
Yeah, it took me a pretty good while, and I mean the platinum for that one is like it's pretty rare as well. Only 0.8% of people have that one, but the Battlefront one's rarer than that. So
that's crazy. Yeah.
There you go, Ed.
I mean, they pop up and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, and I don't really pay attention. Xbox has started doing a thing. I guess they both do. They give you the rarity of the achievements, but
yeah, but Xbox added that thing where it's a different sound depending on the rarity, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I like that.
Really?
Yeah.
And I think with Xbox, the rare ones I get are when I play a Telltale game like right at midnight when it's released, so no one's played it yet.
Yeah.
And you get the achievement for finishing the chapter. And it's like 1.4% of the people did this. And I was like, yeah, that's because no one's played it.
Yeah, for now.
Exactly right.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
I don't remember. I don't know what the rarest one I have is, but I think one of my proudest achievements. I think the first platinum I got was the Walking Dead Telltale, but that's an easy one. The first one that I really worked hard on was Second Son, and that really is what kind of kickstarted my love for going after the platinums that I want to go after.
Yeah, that's the same for me. That was the first platinum I ever got to.
Yeah. After doing Second Son, I was like, man, that was a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, you had to do some things here and there, but you felt accomplished after doing that. And then from there, it went to Shadow of Mordor, and then Far Cry 4, and then a bunch of other stuff started snowballing after that. So it really was Second Son that kind of kicked it off for me. And now I do enjoy them. I mean, to a point. Obviously, I wasn't going to do Assassin's Creed just because I thought it was going to be too much. But then I actually went on the list. I'm like, this is doable. Let's make this happen because I'm having so much fun with this game. Especially if you love the game that you're playing and you want to just keep going. It's perfect. So yeah, Second Son for me, definitely.
There you go. And for a little bit of help, you can go to, on the PlayStation side at least, you can go to psnprofiles.com and look up your trophies, and then you can arrange them by rarest.
Nice.
I'm gonna try to look that up and just see what mine is.
Yeah, because I was just using the app, and those are I came up with the question, if you will, and I was already looking at it before. That's the only reason I was able to pull these up. I knew it was gonna be much harder for you guys, but I really like the idea of adding the screenshots for people who answer the question. I think that's gonna be fun, a lot of fun to see.
This says Brew Dailies has no trophies. That's a lie.
What?
Liar.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Okay, maybe don't go to this website. I'm just kidding.
I'm so disappointed.
You have to have some trophies in there.
I've seen them pop up.
Maybe give it a second. Did you hit reload? Do you type your name in right?
So how do you see how do you do it by rarity on here?
I don't know. I just went to a forum and my internet's going extremely
Never
slow.
mind.
Sabbath Grey
And
works.
it said you can go there and figure it out. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Sabbath Grey, what?
It works. Like I can see your trophies.
Oh, well. Well then.
Well. Yeah.
So let us know. Use hashtag AnswerMTTG and tell us all about it. We want to hear it, and we know you guys are going to be insane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, rarest trophies. Mine is, it came up right on the right. It said rarest trophies after you put your name in. Mine is Road Trippin' NBA Jam On Fire Edition. 3.25 people have gotten that one. That's my rarest.
3.25?
I don't see where you're seeing
3.25.
I'll find it then.
Wow.
Yes, sir. It's definitely not 0 point something.
Yeah, it's not 0.2.
Yeah, nowhere even close. But yeah, psnprofiles.com. You can actually do psnprofiles.com/your name. And for me, the first page that came up was games. And then on the right hand side, it said rarest trophies. So
Nice.
There you go.
there you have it. Use hashtag answer MTTG. We'll talk about it next week. I will be home next week. It'll be nice. I'll be
Nice.
kissing babies, hugging on my wife. It's going to be awesome.
I love it.
Nice.
Great, man.
That's it. 283
See?
in the books. 17 away from episode 300. Just saying.
Wow.
Nice.
What the heck?
Book your flights and your hotels the weekend of the 9th and 10th of June. It's bleeding into the 11th as we watch
Right.
some of the conferences together.
Yes. That will be
And
fun.
we would love to see all of you there. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But whoever can make it, man, come on down. It's a good time. We'll eat some pizza or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pizza.
Pizza. Appreciate you guys listening. I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Bang!